first called us, well actually I got an email, and it was out of the blue. There were so many questions we had, so many doubts, but I'm so glad that we became a part of it. We've learned a lot. I wish my parents and grandparents had lived, and my uncle and my mom. Wish they had all lived to learn what we've learned. Because there were so many doubts and so many unanswered questions that this wonderful Italian family has now given us.
Now, could you speak up a little louder?
Oh, sure.
I'm
Okay.
hard to hear it.
Okay. All right. First of all, thank all of you for being here today. Thank you, Father. Thank you for coming. Thank you, each and every one. Thank you, you young, beautiful people, Junior ROTC. Thank you. I want to tell you a little bit about Veterans Day. The day we just celebrated yesterday. And for most of you young folks, you might not even know. The date of November the 11th. Why is that selected as Veterans Day? It was selected because at 11 o'clock in the morning on the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the First World War came to an end. It's a pretty brutal war. We really thought that was going to be hopefully the last world war. In a letter that was written by a very young soldier, only 26 years old, his name was Lieutenant Lewis Plush. He wrote to his parents after the war, and he told them, and this is very eloquently put, there was a war, a great war, and now it is over. Men fought to kill, to maim, to destroy. Some returned home. Others remained behind forever on the fields of their greatest sacrifice. The rewards of the dead are the lasting honors of martyrs. The reward of the living is the peaceful conscience of one who plays the game of life plays it square. Little did anyone know that an even greater war, World War II, would take place in the next generation. And now we're at least 3 generations and several more wars later. I worked for the VA for almost 34 years, and I saw the impact that war has on both individuals and families, in addition to my own family. Our family was only one of millions of American families to experience the grief and the suffering over the loss of an injury of a beloved son, brother, uncle, cousin. And now today, we can even insert in there daughter, sister, aunt, mom. Each American that died or wounded has a story of heroism. The numbers are staggering. We're talking about one individual today, but the numbers are staggering. The numbers don't always reflect the enormity of the story. Maybe if I can put it like this, there's been over 2.7, that's 2,700,000 Americans that have been killed or wounded in all wars since 1775. Think about that. The Superdome has a capacity of 76,000. Do the math. That's over 35 and a half Superdome-filled veterans, casualties. Hard to imagine and harder to comprehend. I was born only 3 months before my Uncle Wesley died, but he was always a part of my life. I always felt like I knew him because his memory was kept alive by his parents, my grandparents. I'm trying to do the same for my children and grandchildren. He was only 23 years old when he died. He was single. He didn't have any children. But he left behind a very loving family, many friends, and even a sweetheart. He apparently was a very devoted son and a brother, a farm boy. He helped on his parents' small milk dairy. He and my mom used to milk the 3 cows and deliver the milk before they went to school in the morning. So I don't want to hear anything about I missed the bus. Okay. He had graduated high school when the war started. He volunteered to serve. He was accepted into flight training. He became a pilot, a very accomplished pilot, as Al just said. When he died, the story of my family's lives, how they were upended and changed forever. I hope you don't mind, Mary Lou, that my cousin Mary Lou was only 9 years old. She was sitting in my grandmother and grandfather's kitchen when the first Western Union telegram arrived. My grandfather went to the door, and it was a telegram that he returned to the kitchen in tears, saying that his son was missing in action. And it took and Wesley remained missing in action for a period of time. We estimate it was about 5 months later that the second telegram arrived, saying that their son was confirmed as killed in action. But it took over 5 years for his remains to be returned here to America and be buried here at Garden of Memories. So there were so many questions and doubts and stories. Nobody ever really knew the whole story. But now with this amazing Italian family, this generous, Christian, loving Italian family, we now know how and where my uncle died, how we got his personal effects back, separate and apart from his body, why his body was burned. We now know the whole story. Our lives will be forever